dare I even say, this might be, after everything kind of considered, this might be my favourite console. It's a sad, sad day. Well, not yet.
It goes swah 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 swah.
Right, fucking dumbass, you cost us the goddamn game. Burn in hell, motherfucker.
Fast approaching is July the 29th, which is when the Xbox 360 digital marketplace closes. And while it is a very sad day, it has been 19 years since the Xbox 360 was released.
That makes me a sad panda.
Now, we have made a previous video on the Xbox 360 marketplace closing down, so click that right there, and you can check it out, and I'd love you forever if you did. But it just got me thinking about how much I thoroughly enjoyed the Xbox 360. Now, before we get started, I do want to say that I have probably over about 100 Xbox 360 games, and we're not going to list them all out, but we are going to list my favourite ones played on the Xbox 360. So do drop a comment if I have left out your favourites. I'm sure I would have, because there are some probably heavy hitters that are missing from this list, just because I never played them. Okay, let's get the show on the road. Let me just start this by saying pretty much all of these games have newer ports or straight up remasters on newer consoles, okay? So fear not, if you haven't played these on the Xbox 360, you probably can play them on newer consoles. But you should try and play them on the 360 because nostalgia bubbles? So the Xbox 360 generation was when gaming went truly mainstream and most things became super mass produced. There was no installs, there was a great introduction on stable online console multiplayer, games didn't take too long to make either, and there was an introduction to the Xbox Live Arcade and the indie marketplace to download games digitally. And with the closure of the Xbox 360 marketplace, to celebrate the Xbox 360 successes, I've decided to create a small list of games I discovered on the Xbox 360 that if you haven't played, well, play them. With a huge roster of games, these are a small pick of my favourites when I initially played them when released on the Xbox 360. So you have no excuse not to play them if you haven't played them. Grand Theft Auto 5. Rockstar Games' most successful title, GTA 5. It redefined how detailed and lifelike open world games could be. On top of its gorgeous visuals and intricate world, it pushed the boundaries of the franchise established formula by having 3 protagonists. It's so popular that the only game that will surpass it for sales will be GTA 6. Well, here's me hoping that saying GTA 6 will trigger 1 million views in the algorithm. So just to be sure, Grand Theft Auto 6. GTA 6, GTA 6, GTA 6, GTA 6, GTA 6, GTA 6. Dead Space. What can I say about this game? You play a very bad day at work for engineer Isaac Clarke on the USG Ishimura. Dead Space combines survivor elements and great shooting mechanics mixed with psychological horror. Dead Space was an incredible journey into madness with few flaws and intense scares. It was a horror phenomenon. Phenomenon? Red Dead Redemption. On to another Rockstar open world game. Rockstar Games continued to experiment and made something very, very special. It was more slower paced than a Grand Theft Auto game, but had more emotional content and one of the most heart-wrenching scenes in gaming history. As players follow John Marston, the world comes alive with activities, random events, NPCs, and watch out for those wild animals, as well as a great morality system, making it stand out as one of the greatest games of all time.
Batman, the Arkham series.
Batman Arkham Asylum was a breakout hit for Rocksteady Studios and superhero games in general, but it was Arkham City, the sequel, that arguably surpassed it in every way possible. Batman Arkham City featured a massive open world to explore, which is teeming with activities and stories, whether you are hunting down Bane's chemical canisters, collecting Riddler trophies, or completely free-flow combat challenges. Who would have thought splicing together beat-em-ups, stealth and puzzles would be the benchmark for all future superhero games? Not me. Limbo. A jewel on the 360. It's a haunting platform that will linger with you for some time, as well as trying not to throw your controller through the wall trying to get that hard achievement. Hard achievement? The achievement trophy thing. On hard. Stop saying hard. It follows a small boy who awakens on the edge of a dark forest. Inside the forest is his sister, who he hopes to rescue, but that's only if he can get through all the booby traps and the big bloomin' spider. Ugh, gross. Street Fighter 4. Street Fighter 4 itself being a reinvention of the series and of the whole genre. Street Fighter was left in limbo of sorts, as most fighting games failed to catch on during the PlayStation 2 and Xbox eras. Street Fighter 4 took things back to basics and ushered in a new wave of fighting games to come afterwards. Thanks to iconic controls, plenty of depth and a big roster of new and recognisable characters, Street Fighter 4 will also be a legacy on the Xbox 360. Fallout. While there is still a lot of love for the original top-down RPG from times gone by, Bethesda's open-world shooter take brought the game to a host of new eyes, making it the cultural juggernaut we all know and love today. While some might prefer Fallout New Vegas, I have to give credit to Fallout 3 instead. Playing as the Vault Dweller and emerging out into the wastelands, searching for your father, this is another huge open-world outing filled with secrets, side missions and scary monsters. I personally found Fallout 3 dangerously addictive due to it being so immersive. Those were good times. The Walking Dead. Telltale's The Walking Dead felt like the first mainstream success to a point-and-click adventure game format for console. Shout out to Maniac Mansion on the original Nintendo. Of course it helped that there was a globally recognised TV and comic book franchise to attract loads of attention, but the core gameplay and storytelling is what kept people coming back for numerous follow-up titles. We follow Lee, a convict who manages to escape prison in the wake of a zombie apocalypse. One fence jump later and Lee encounters Clementine, a young girl who Lee basically adopts and protects throughout the whole game. Alien Isolation. Alien Isolation. If you're looking for something intense, this is definitely for you. But it is also a very graphically impressive game. A survival horror set in an atmosphere of constant dread and mortal danger where you play as Amanda Ripley, who enters into a desperate battle for survival on a mission to unravel the truth behind her mother's disappearance. South Park and the Stick of Truth. It's funny, it's shocking, and it's pretty much everything you'd expect from a South Park game. Well, it's everything you would want from a South Park game. It's a turn-based RPG, and I was floored by how consistently funny it was, and how the whole journey played out like a huge episode. To sum up, this is an RPG about kids pretending to be in an RPG. It's a fantastic game. Alan Wake. Alan Wake is a part action game and part psychological thriller. You play as Alan Wake as he tries to uncover the mystery behind his wife's disappearance during a vacation in Bright Falls. This is a great survival horror game, but whilst playing it, I constantly felt like I was in some kind of Stephen King novel. Let me know what you think. Bioshock. One of the greatest first-person shooters of all time. Bioshock is a game where you get to explore the city of Rapture. But watch out for the little girl who has a deep-sea diver as a best friend with a drill on its arm, and it does like to use it as a giant poking device. Dead Island. Dead Island is a fantastic open world game divided into 4 relatively large areas. It's goofy, it's fun, and best of all you can play co-op with your friends. And I had an absolute blast playing this game, as it feels like playing a B-movie horror film. Right, so... But me personally, I feel like the Xbox 360 was the peak of gaming. It hit it right. It hit it right. You had great games. They had time to kind of mess about and make games that were... they didn't know what the outcome would be. They didn't know if it would make money. It's the last console... I think if it's the last major console where you didn't have to put the disc in and install the game to play it. It's one of the main reasons why I love playing it to this day. I might even be, dare I even say, this might be, after everything kind of considered, this might be my favourite console. I need to think more about it, but it's definitely up there.
Johnny, don't forget me. I'm always be here. But are you really going to leave me in these clothes forever and ever? Please, have a heart. Please.
Have I missed anything that you would recommend? Drop in the comments and let me know. I know I'm going to hear about Skyrim and Fable and Dragon Inquisition. What's it called?